Welcome to our first webinar. So if there's some kinks or imperfections, we're just trying to model that that's okay.
Totally. We're gonna give a few people a little bit more time to join the call, and so we're just gonna go ahead and put up a slide right now and bear with us.
First kink.
Yay! So we look forward to speaking with you in a couple moments. Thanks everybody for joining us. We're just giving people a few more moments to go ahead and log in and join us, and then we'll start the presentation. It's going to last about an hour, and we're going to have some live Q&A. If you're on the website and you're seeing the chat wing application below the video, the live broadcast, if you can please type in questions in that chat wing box as we're going along, things you might want to know about more, feel free to use that, and we'll scan those as we're doing the presentation so that it's a live co-created event and we're answering all the questions that you might have. We'll start in about 1 more minute. Thanks. Hi, everyone. It's Chris and Kendra here.
Hi, Kendra here.
Thanks for calling in, spending some time with us on this webinar. Why is modern dating so hard and what you can do about it? I'm going to go ahead and take off the screen share and say hello face to face.
The
Hey.
lighting's great.
Yeah, so
I look like I'm on fire or something.
We just wanted to make sure we weren't going to be in the dark. And we might have overdone it a little bit. But anyway, thanks for joining us today. We want to talk a little bit about Evolve Dating Gurus, why we're doing this webinar, and what we have to offer, and some of our observations working with clients that are struggling with dating. That's the main reason that we started Evolve Dating Gurus, is that we noticed a lot of our friends and family were struggling with dating and modern technology and dating, and they were really wanting a way to make it a little easier, more fun, and heart-centered. And so here we are, Evolve Dating Gurus. I'm Chris, this is Kendra.
And we also came up with our own word for kind of what we do, which is neuroamorology. So we are officially neuroamorologists, which it's kind of where love, like the art of love and dating and meeting, meets neuroscience. So we've both done a lot of research in the latest research in neuroscience, and we also just in our work in general, everything that we've pretty much learned over a lifetime, we put into our work with people. So it's like, we know that it works because we're both perfect. So so we use practices like mindfulness and just like deeper heart-centered connecting. We've learned lots of different spiritual practices. We've studied some law of attraction and had some really fun practice with that. We've done shadow work and just learned a bunch of different things, and we try to put that, infuse that into all the work that we do. So we'd like to kind of start with a mindfulness practice. So we invite you guys to join us, and it's just a nice way to start an interaction. So.
Yeah, we would just want to really all get present together over the airwaves and drop into our body, into ourselves. And Kendra is going to lead us in just a brief mindfulness practice of becoming more present. And then we'll get into the meat of the presentation. So please just follow along and join us for a moment in getting present.
So whatever feels good to you, you can be looking at our beautiful faces, or you can have a soft gaze looking down, or maybe even eyes closed. I like to do eyes closed sometimes. Helps me kind of get into my body a little bit more. So whatever feels right to you, just coming into your body, your experience right now. Sometimes what can help with that is to take a little bit longer, slower breath than usual. So take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, maybe even kind of like hold it back just a little so that it's a little slower on the exhale. And maybe this time when you exhale, maybe make it so you can actually kind of hear your own breathing. Exhale. And then see if there's probably something that inspired you to watch this. So maybe you could frame that into an intention or how you want to feel after the end of this presentation. So maybe it's, I want to feel lighter. I want to feel easier. I want to feel clear, or I want to feel like inspired to make some of these changes. So whatever that is, just see if there's a word or two that kind of encapsulates that intention. And repeat that word to yourself a couple times. And as if you could carry the word and the feeling and the meaning of that word in on your breath, breathe in that word. Imagine infusing every single cell in your whole body with that word and then intention. And then whenever you're ready, you can start to open your eyes if they're closed, or start to move your eyes up into the room. Maybe look around the room that you're in, and letting images kind of come to you, just getting present with the space, and then making contact with us.
Well, thanks for taking the time to drop in with us. And we're going to go ahead and do kind of a part presentation, show you some slides about what we found through discussion with clients and over the last year and a half of working and building Evolve Dating Gurus, doing live events and one-on-one coaching sessions together with our clients, what we think are the top 5 reasons why modern dating might be difficult, and then some of the solutions that we'll share with you that we have as invitations to try for yourself at home, incorporate maybe 1 or 2 of the practices into your own life, and hopefully develop this feeling of more ease, more flow, more joy in your dating life, and attracting, you know, what could be fun, potentially falling in love with a partner, and just having that in your life in the way that you want, rather than maybe in your past experience. So really in this presentation, we know that this is a serious subject, and, you know, if you're in the middle of struggling and not understanding why dating is so difficult, or why you're having a hard time attracting a partner in what, you know, should seem like, well, it's in love, everybody's in love, there's partnerships everywhere, it should be easy, then we just want to send some compassion, some understanding for whatever your present situation is. But we also want to focus a lot of our time today on solutions, on the present and going forward, and starting to create the energy that you're really wanting in your life, which is ease and fun and joy with dating. And so we're kind of goofballs, me and Kendra, so we'll probably goof around, even though this is a serious subject. We want to just give you we want to give you a heads up that we're kind of goofy. We'll probably play around with this serious subject a little bit.
Do I have anything in my teeth? I just had dinner.
I think. Yeah. So, and we may let the odd F-bomb or something slip out too. So if that's offensive to you, you know, please heads up for that. So we're going to go ahead and dive right in. We're going to share our screen and start with top 5 reasons why dating is so damn hard. Please use the chat box at the bottom of the window on our website if you want to ask a question, or in the Q&A window to the right of the Hangout to interact a little bit, and, you know, let's hear your voices through that medium. Okay, so here we go.
Our top 5 reasons why modern dating's so damn hard.
Boom, boom, boom.
So, top reason number 5 is believing that dating is hard. Yeah, so just believing that dating is hard is one of the main reasons why dating is so hard. So a belief is really powerful. It's and it's really just like a belief is formed after you just thought something over and over and over again. So if you think that dating is hard and you say that to yourself and you're telling that story to all your friends and dating sucks and that then gets internalized as a belief. And a belief that's believed hard enough and regularly enough turns into our perceived reality. So if you're wanting to believe that dating isn't hard, then come up with the belief that you want. How do you want dating to be? Do you want it to be easy? Do you want it to be fun? Do you want it to be
playful?
Playful, yeah. So whatever that belief is that you want, start saying that to yourself. You can start thinking it. And if you think it enough, it'll start becoming a belief. And if you believe it enough, it'll start becoming your reality. So right now, maybe in the chat box, if you want to write down like, what do you want to, how do you want to start thinking about dating? And this is kind of a little infographic. Change the way you think about dating and watch how dating will change.
Well said, Kendra.
Yeah. So we have this chat box going. We also have email available for some people too who don't have the chat box going. So if you have any comments on that, we'd love to hear you or read you.
Reason number 4, being super inefficient with online dating. This is what one of the things. This is huge. If you're doing, especially if you're doing online dating, is being efficient. You know, we just talked about believing dating is hard. Really does make it hard. And so if you can't change your belief about it right this second, at least, you know, being more efficient with how you do it so that it doesn't really feel like a second job. Because we hear that all the time. People are like, it just feels like work. I don't have time for all these messages. You know, people write these nondescript messages. They're really, so what we want to do is give you some kind of a feel for some top tips on how to be a little bit more efficient and maximize the short time that you probably want to be in the application online, sifting and sorting and arranging dates. And so one of them is when you send a message, please mention something from their profile and tell them how it made you feel. In other words, you know, hey, I saw that you're really into cross-country skiing and doing hut-to-hut mountain trips overnight, and that really just made me feel a sense of adventure when I read that. And so I'd love to find out more about, you know, your adventurous side and see if we have some synchronicity there. So reading their profile, mentioning something that you noticed in the profile and how it made you feel. And then the made you feel part is really important because that creates a little bit of vulnerability, and by sharing the impact, as it says on the slide, something from the profile, the impact it had on you, brings that person into the conversation, revealing a little bit about you, as well as something that excited you about them. And so you kind of create this level playing field of relating.
So if you're the person who sends a message where you're like, hey, how are you? That's really not going to get a lot of responses unless if you're completely irresistibly attractive to the person who's getting the message. So yeah, mention something specific from their profile and tell them how it made you feel. The second thing is that even if you're sending a message that's got a little bit more meat to it, but it's copy pasted, people can tell. I can't tell you how many times when I was online dating that it was so obvious that it was a copy pasted message. So if you're like, hi, I'm Casey. I just moved here from Michigan, so I'm looking for someone to show me around. It seems like you're a really cool person. Want to get together for a beer sometime? Okay, so there's a bunch of things that aren't ideal here. A, this could be totally copy pasted, like I just said. It's not specific. So this person could literally just be sending this message to every person that they contact. Two,
Take a breath, Kendra. Take a breath. Two.
It doesn't say anything that makes me believe that they read my profile. And in fact, I know from personal experience that I've gotten the question like, hey, you want to go out for a beer sometime? And in my profile, I specifically say, I don't really drink. Like, I hardly ever drink. So for them to invite me for a beer just proves that they really were just looking at the picture and said, you know, thought I was really hot.
How does that make you feel, Kendra, when they do that?
I feel totally disinterested. I feel apathy, and I just go to the next message. So the third thing is if somebody says, it seems like I'm a really cool person, that's like, how? Tell me specifically what let you feel that I'd be a cool person. And lastly, asking me out before you've even talked to me, that's potentially really inefficient. I mean, yeah, you don't want to ask somebody out in your first message before you've even gone back and forth.
Definitely. Okay, so this leads us to a couple of other points, top tips. One of them is, I mean, we're amazed when people show us their online profile and the messages that they've been sending or the interactions that they've been having with people they're potentially interested in. They're like a mile long. They're messaging back and forth, back over days, weeks, before actually getting together. And so that's a big one for us, is to basically set a goal for yourself of a maximum of 2 or 3 messages back and forth, explaining something you noticed, how it felt, see what they respond with, 2 or 3 max, and then and keeping it to that, and then offering a phone call.
Get on the phone.
Let's talk, let's chat, let's have some real live interaction. When you hear somebody talking and you can banter a little bit back and forth, you can really get a sense of somebody a little bit better than just text or message.
And I totally get it. Like a lot of people are just wanting to email or text even, but before a date. I have very personal experience with the scariness that is the phone. So, but here's the deal, is that hearing a person's voice, it gives you another layer of feeling the person's vibe. So some people just can't type well, they can't communicate well online. And vice versa, some people can communicate great online and then not at all in person. So you can really get a sense for that if you just make one phone call. I remember when I was online dating, there was 2 dates specifically that I went on where as soon as we started talking in real life and we were on the date, I was like, wow, I totally could have avoided this date had we just talked on the phone for a couple of seconds at that time. So yeah, practice being on the phone, and if that feels good, then you can set the date on the phone. If not, you can just say that it's not a good fit, doesn't feel right.
Awesome. So we have tons more online dating tips. These are just a few. These are just a few of the top ones that we wanted to share today. And just for the sake of time, we're going to move on to the third reason, and which is, we're going to go ahead and slide this slide. I keep ending up dating the wrong people. Okay, Now this one's super common as well. Lots of people say, you know, I keep ending up with the same kind of guys. I don't understand it. It seems to be some kind of pattern. I can't quite figure it out. And, you know, they end up the same way. The first issue with this, we really encourage people to step out of is this kind of a victim mentality. And instead of using ending up with the wrong people, take some ownership and some empowerment, and maybe replace ending up with I keep choosing the wrong people. You know, there's something, you know, within you that's attracting a certain type person in a certain scenario for you to maybe work through a little bit and heal in order to move forward in a way that feels good to you. And so choosing certain people to, you know, work with each other in a co-created way and heal something is a very big, important step in moving forward and attracting love the way that you want.
And just by using the word choose, so say I'm dating Kelly and I am feeling like mixed feelings about the person, instead of saying like, how did I end up with this kind of person again? Instead say like, I'm choosing to be with Kelly. And what that can do is it just can highlight for you or help you to see, do I want to be choosing this person or do I want to choose someone else? And one thing from me and Chris and my personal life is that we say I choose you every single day, like multiple times a day. So
that's an important practice that you might try if you're in an existing relationship or when you're starting up a new one, is an intentional practice of really like stopping, looking at each other maybe in the morning or in the evening when you come back together after a long day, and being present and saying, I choose you. I choose you today, babe.
I choose you.
I'm glad you couldn't see that on the camera. Anyway.
Okay. So the second issue with this whole, like, I keep on ending up with the wrong person or the same person is that this is a reflection, this can be a reflection of things like your own sense of self-love, your own sense of self-worth, or just, you know, patterns of attraction, whatever. There's tons of topics to cover with this issue of choosing the wrong person, but so we're not going to cover that in this particular webinar. We will in the future, but what we want to talk about today in this webinar is that choosing the wrong person also can have to do with intuition. So intuition, I mean, it's probably something that everybody's born with to a certain extent. But it's probably also something that we kind of lose a sense of through life experience. And just, I think our particular culture in America puts a lot of emphasis on like seeking out experts or reading this self-help book and that and this and the rules of dating or the rules of this or that. And I think that if we become so externally focused on knowledge, we lose the sense of inner wisdom that all of us can tap into at any time. So
tell them about rewiring the brain, Kendra.
So you can actually develop your intuition, and this is so cool. You can actually develop your intuition by doing a body-based mindfulness practice.
What's that?
So what happens? So what happens when you start focusing your attention in on your body? Hold on, it looks like the screen cut off.
We're gonna pause for just a moment. Somebody wrote us a chat that this looks like the stream cut off, so we're gonna hit pause, stop sharing the slide presentation, and jump back over. Let's just see. It still says we're showing live broadcast. Nick, can you send us another message if you're able to see us or not? Because we saw your...
It could be a time lapse too, just internet.
Well, we're going to go ahead and keep going, and we'll see. Well, hang on one second. My friend is texting me about this. So the sound is out. Interesting. Hang on one second. Let's try and redo this here. You're not on mute. Maybe it's just a delay or a little problem with the internet, and let us know if you can hear us again, Ziana.
It's back.
All right.
And so we're back.
We're live. We might have just been some kind of internet connection issue. It stopped working and then it reconnected. All we can do is see ourselves live on our screen. And so thanks for letting us know about the sound, and we're glad we're back. So we're going to go ahead and I just want to say while we have this little pause that we're going to do a live Q&A at the end of the last couple of slides, where you'll be able to see and interact with Kendra and me live on the screen like we're doing now. So we're going to jump back to the presentation slides, which are just helpful reminders as we're talking about the subjects, and then we're going to come back and do a face-to-face. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. So hang on one moment. Well, we're giving you a heads up. This is where we were, Kendra, when the connection went down. Okay. We were talking about developing your intuition and doing a body-based meditation.
So, just by they've done studies on the brain, and just by focusing in on your body, your felt sense experience during a particular situation, or when you're thinking about a particular situation, that can actually strengthen a part of the brain called the insula, which is directly related to your sense of intuition. So, so if you're kind of like, I don't know about this person, I don't know how I feel, you can just take a moment, and we put quick and easy, because I think a lot of people have this misconception that meditation has to be this like, sit upright with perfect posture, cross-legged, and do it for like an hour, or else it's not effective.
That's how I do it.
That's how
no, I'm just kidding.
I do it too, but I mean, but I take little breaks during the day too, just 5 minutes, and so this will start developing that part of the brain. And what it can look like is just sitting like how we started the presentation, connecting into your breath, and then maybe even thinking about the person in question and see what body sensations arise, and just let your mind kind of wander with associations and thoughts.
Another way that you can do it is, well, we're getting a couple messages.
They lost us at the choosing slide. Well, I'm hopeful that it's just an internet thing, and that this is just continuing to be recorded, and hopefully it'll catch up at some point. So we're just gonna continue. But yeah, what were you gonna say?
I was going to say another quick, easy body-based meditation is when you're able to take a couple of minutes and close your eyes and get in touch with your breath and feel your body if you're sitting in the seat, and then conjure up a visualization maybe of something that feels loving, for instance. Sometimes I'll visualize seeing the sun, and I'll imagine and feel the sun's rays on my skin, and feeling this gift this unconditional loving energy that's pouring down from the sun into my heart, and get into that space of choosing to feel and sense that through my visualization. And then I'll conjure up the face of this person that I'm considering maybe going on a date with, or a second date or whatever, and then noticing the sensations, if they change from what they were when I was imagining the sun, in a positive or negative light, and maybe naming a few of those sensations to myself, and asking my heart, you know, how it feels with this person, or when I imagine this person. And that's another way of continuing to develop your intuition, whether it's dating or other decisions in your life. So try that one at home, kids.
Try that one out.
Okay, we're gonna move on to the next top 5 reason. This is reason number 2. Sex. Boom, boom. What do we mean by that? Sex can be a huge reason why dating can be difficult, and it really has an infinite variety of possibilities as to why that is. And you know, it could be anything from being unsure about revealing your sexual orientation too soon on a date, or when you're starting a relationship up with somebody, to maybe some past experiences that you're you know, less than perfect experiences, or experiences that were causing you some anxiety with the thought of re-engaging with someone new, and how that might play out again from past experience. So in other words, not necessarily healing or releasing or having some closure resolution with past experiences, to other things like, you know, being able to just communicate what it is you like or don't like, or asking for what you're wanting potentially in a relationship, if it gets that far. So sex is a large Pandora's box, and a lot of times it's in the shadows, and there may be guilt or shame or insecurity wrapped up in your sexuality, that is because it is shadow, you're not necessarily consciously aware of it fully when you're starting to date or thinking about going out on dates, but it is playing out in this in some body-based sensations like anxiety, nervousness, and we really work and dig into this subject a lot more on our coaching sessions, and can maybe help, you know, shine some light on some things that maybe you're not aware of in the sexuality realm, that could be affecting your desire to date and how you show up on dates. Okay, we're ready for
What to do about it.
What to do about it.
So just where, like we said, that there's just so many variations on how sex could potentially be making your dating life hard. And rather than offering a bunch of specific solutions to each one, which would kind of be impossible right now, we're just going to offer one blanket way to address this, which is, it's another kind of mindfulness practice. So you could find a quiet time, find a quiet space for yourself to tap into your heart, or your highest self, or your deepest truth, whatever, however you like to refer to kind of like your wise mind. And just ask that part of you, what do I need to know about my sexuality in relationship? What do I need to know about sexuality in my relationships? And see what happens when you just listen. If no answer comes the first time, just try again later. If still there's no answer, but you sense that there probably is something in there that's limiting you in some way, try reaching out to someone for help with this. Like Chris said, we love supporting people with their sexuality. If you're calling in or if you're watching from Boulder, there's tons of awesome professionals here in town, other than us. And if you need help finding the right fit, we could probably help with that. And even if you're watching from another part of the world, we could probably help you find something in some way. So please feel free to reach out to us about this. There's so many expressions of sexuality, and some that there just probably isn't the right name for yet. There's asexuality and homosexuality and pansexual and
transsexual.
There's like, I'm mostly heterosexual, but depending on if it's the right person at the right time, maybe I'm a little, you know. So there's just so many variations, and it's such a huge part of life experience, and so we really encourage you to reach out and get the support you might be needing.
Awesome. Thanks, Kendra. And, you know, one of the things I'd say too is noticing when, as you ask yourself this question, what do I need to know about my sexuality? Then, you know, stepping into the witness role and noticing if you have some judgment thoughts coming up about some fears or some answers that are coming up for you when you ask yourself that question, and share that with someone. Share what came up, and then what also the judgments that came up behind that. And these are really big clues into how you can start to work through some of these issues with some professionals like us, mentoring, coaching, and not let that be a barrier to stepping out there and finding the love that you're really wanting right now. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the number one reason: focusing on your checklist rather than the feelings that you have with this person. This is probably the biggest one that we hear all the time, is people get so specific with their prerequisites of what they're looking for, and for a soulmate or the one, and they're really like carrying this around with them mentally in their mind as a checklist. And so what we suggest, rather than, you know, focusing on the checklist, like the type of car, the house, the job, the where they come from, the religion, all of those things that could be on your checklist, as well as, you know, wanting to have kids, or they already have kids, or, you know, certain body type, etc.
Age.
Age is a big one. Race, etc. is to really focus on specific things that you want to either do with this person, that you enjoy doing, and being open to what they enjoy doing, or and how that you want to feel when you're doing activities with the type of person, whether it's traveling or spending time reading or doing art, and the feelings that you're having with this new person.
It's kind of like, you know, in my dream ideal partner, maybe I'm like, I need somebody who makes a lot of money. But what's the point of ending up with somebody who has a lot of money if they're really stingy with it? So what we're saying is focusing on how you want to feel with your partner. And so maybe the feeling is you want to feel abundant, and you want to feel really free and generous when it comes to money. And the same thing is like, if you're wanting somebody who's athletic, that's like really important to you, that they're really athletic. But then you're with somebody who's really athletic, but it's like all they do, and they like to go on their hardcore like runs every single day, like, and that's their time. And then, so I mean, the whole point of wanting somebody who's athletic is probably because you want to feel like the feelings of doing fun activities and going on a bike ride together, experiencing nature together, all that kind of stuff. So it's really easy to get caught up in the details of what we think we want, but really what we want is to feel a particular way when we're with the person. So asking yourself, like, do I feel inspired when I'm with this person? Do I feel a sense of warmth? do we feel present with one another? Do I feel safe to be goofy and messy and myself with this person? Like, I know that those are all things that I totally feel with Chris. And, and I know that in the past I've dated people and have, you know, in contrast, realized in hindsight, like, wow, I felt like an idiot being goofy with them. Like it felt like I was embarrassing or something. And so like, that's not what I want. And another thing that from our personal relationship is that when Chris and I first met, I was smoking. I was a smoker.
Oh, smoker.
And that was probably something that would have been on his no list.
Definitely was.
It definitely was on his no list. However, he obviously focused more on how he felt and feels with me. And that led us to have the most amazing relationship that I've ever had in my whole life. And I also successfully quit smoking because there just wasn't like this focus on it being this bad thing that needed to be fixed. It was like we were just focusing on how good we felt together. And then I just naturally stopped wanting it. So that's a little personal side note about that.
Looks like we had a little delay in the connection again, so we're going to give it a moment to reconnect like it did before. So bear with us. Not sure what end it's on. We have a pretty good internet connection here, and yeah, it looks like the slide is kind of stalled on the sexuality slide. So we're going to go ahead and give it a moment to reconnect. Bear with us. This is our first time using Google Hangouts, so it's surprising that it's dropped off a couple of times. Thanks for your patience. Be back in a moment.
What's that stop sharing button? Oh.
Hey, what's that? That's Kendra, that's Chris. We're about to launch into the Q&A part of the call. We're just giving it a little bit more time so that you can rejoin us. Let us know in the chat window when it comes back for you. We're going to go ahead and share the slide again. See if we can get this back on the road. Let us know if you can hear us while we're talking. Maybe the slide show part is not working. Maybe there's a little delay in the Google, because we're using a Google Docs slide presentation. So if there's any way possible, you could maybe chat and let us know if you're hearing us speak. We can continue to speak. And if you can see us on the live video feed, then we'll switch over to that. Because we're at the Q&A part of the presentation just about anyway. You know, we really just wanted to give you those top 5 things that we think are making dating so difficult today. But we want to hear your feedback and your questions or present experiences with dating, and hear some of the reasons that you feel dating is difficult today, so that we can kind of interact and maybe give some suggestions or ideas if you have more to add to the 5 that we gave, and the 8 steps or things that you can do to maybe change some of those experiences into what you're wanting. And we're going to send that out to you after the call as a handout so that you can kind of try a couple of those suggestions and incorporate those into your life.
And, you know, before, I guess, like, while we're waiting, we could probably talk about, let's see, what are they saying? No sound. Okay. Well, while we're waiting for the sound to catch back up again, let's just talk about our program. So we've created an online course that you can take, and we're calling it the 8-Day Dating Detox. And this is such an awesome course. I am so excited to be putting it out there into the world. We've been working really hard on it, putting all of our, all of the kind of collective wisdom that we've been, you know, our personal research and all the clients that we've been working with. It's really been a co-creative creation.
We feel like in 8 days, you can totally transform your dating experience.
It's really for people who feel stuck in their dating life and are like wanting to commit to changing that, to getting unstuck, to feeling free and flowing about it, and just attract that frickin' love of your life, damn it. So so the course is in a pre-launch phase right now. And so we're offering to the people that are watching this webinar, who are on our mailing list, we're offering $100 off, as basically you'll RSVP that you're wanting to take the course. And you don't have to pay anything right now, but you just basically send us a message RSVPing, I want the $100 off the course. And we will be more than happy and super duper excited to give you that discount, just as a special offer for joining us live tonight. And we'll be launching it this summer. So you'll RSVP, we'll give you the $100 off coupon, and then when it's launched, you'll be the first to know.
And within that course, I mean, there's going to be some fantastic practices that will help you, you know, get to the heart of what issues or blocks or beliefs or past experiences that are, you know, preventing this love of your life from coming into your life, and also some practices with some audio and some visualizations that you can do to, you know, reprogram, rewire, and reimagine what you want your dating life to be. By the end of the 8 days, you'll know whether you're you've done enough work, inner work, through that 8-day period to go out there and start to date again, or you'll come to the conclusion with your intuition that I need to you know, take a pause, a longer pause from dating, and do some inner work with either yourself or with some guidance. And so, you know, our hope is that after the 8 days, you'll be a lot more clear and in alignment with what it is you need moving forward. Okay, so we're going to move into the Q&A section of the webinar. And please, if you're still there listening, let us know if you can hear us, if it's come back or not. We're not sure how to, maybe we should reconnect. We're going to take a pause for a moment and stop sharing the slide. We're going to jump over here to seeing us live.
It's so bright.
Yay!
That's better. Blinded by the light.
So anyway, we're not sure if you're able to see us or hear us anymore right now. So we don't have any more it doesn't look like we have questions. I think what happened was at some point the slides show part of the presentation froze up and people lost patience maybe with it a little bit and went ahead and dropped off. And so we're going to go ahead and conclude the presentation now. We really appreciate your time, patience with the difficulties with the technology, but you know, bringing your heart, your higher self, your interest, and your support. We want to thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us, and also for the people who might be watching it in the future. Oh, that's cool. We're like talking to future people.
Future peeps.
Hi, future people.
We probably won't be using Google Hangouts with these snafus that happen with the drop-offs, but
maybe if we just start believing that Google Hangouts is easy.
Oh, nice. We've got tons more content and ideas and things that we want to share and start to really develop a community where collaboration and a feeling of, you know, being in this together and helping each other to, you know, reach our highest potential and our true selves in love and relationship is possible and probable. And
here's a solution-ish for this issue, which is go on Facebook, or we'd love it if you would go on Facebook and like our page, Evolve Dating Gurus, and then you can have a conversation there. Because like he's saying, where we want this to be a community of people that are wanting to evolve dating, just starting the conversation back and forth on our page would be so great. So any questions that coulda, woulda, whatever been on tonight's call can be posted there, and we'll be happy to answer and address any of them. So
thanks very much.
So much love.
We wish you love
and
blessings, peace in your heart. Have a good night.
That's the wrong